Hi, in this review, I'm going to be looking at different orthodontists in the El Cerrito, Albany area. So here I have, basically I've just searched Yelp for orthodontists in El Cerrito. And so these are my top 4 listings that have been returned here. Now the first one has a lot more reviews than the other ones, and they're all 5 stars. So I'm not going to include that one since they're kind of in a little bit of a different category. So instead, I'm going to focus on these 3 here, where they're similar to each other in different ways. I mean, this one has fewer reviews, but it's all 5 stars. These 2 have closer to the same number of reviews, and this one has 3.5, and this one has 4.5 stars. So I think they're about as equivalent as we're going to get for these different ones. So let's just start with the first one. So we're going to go over to Jeff's. Okay, so we're taking a look at his, and he has claimed it. And he's put some pictures here. It would be kind of good if you put more photos. He's only got 2 photos, and you can add a lot of photos to your listings. And a photo of a patient would be good to make it a little more clear to people, like this is something that can be you. So pictures that people can identify with a little bit more than these illustrations would be a good idea for him. He has his hours, which are really important since he's, open only 3 days a week. So letting people know when they can book is definitely a really important piece of information for him to share. So that's great. And then again, he only has a couple of reviews, so there's not a lot to say there. They're both from, as of now, as I'm recording this, they're from 3 years ago. So, not that recent. It looks like he's semi-retired. That's the impression that I get when I look at this. I don't know if it's the case, but that's the feeling that I get. I look down here, he's a little young, but all the same, that doesn't mean he isn't semi-retired. It's great that he's put up a message from the owner speaking to people and talking about his specialties and things. So that's always good. I wish I saw everybody do that. All right, so there's not a lot here. So let's take a look at his website now. Okay, so again, we have one of these websites that's sort of perfunctory. It's sort of like, okay, I've got to have a website. Okay, this will do, right? It's checked the box that there is a website. But this is a very, very old-fashioned looking website, like in the extreme. In fact, if I go all the way down to the bottom, well, okay, yeah, powered by Google Sites. So I never want to see what technology was used to make the website. And additionally, even his dates, like he isn't even updating the copyright. So there's not a lot to say about this site. He really, if your website has this look feel and has these characteristics, then you just need to have a new website made. And it doesn't have to be that expensive. I was just going back and forth actually just last night with someone. I'm working out a deal for some of my clients that they're able to get a website made really super inexpensively. And it's because we're just basically making one look for it for all of them. And then they're just changing the colors, the text, and the photos. And so it's just kind of a starter, but it's a really nice looking starter, right? And I had negotiated him down pretty far. I don't want to give away the number because I don't want to flood him with a bunch of requests at that level, because this was a special deal we worked out where he doesn't have to do any marketing or sales for it. I just send people to him, right? So he gave me a special deal. But let me just ballpark it and say, you could get a decent looking website, much nicer than this, much more modern than this, and without anything saying, who made the website, for, I would say, to expect it to be $1,500. So it's not like, where it used to be like $5,000 to get a decent website. That's not the case anymore. All right. And then finally, let's take a look at him on Facebook. Okay. So he's doing absolutely nothing here. Even this address information, for all I know, it was put in by Facebook itself because it searches things. And so that it says unofficial page even. So we know that he didn't do this. So it would be worth him doing something on Facebook, but I'm not sure how interested he is in doing it. To tell you the truth, he may be semi-retired, and that may be why. But if you're not semi-retired, just realize that the reason this seems like he is because this will not result in the level of business that you would want if you're really focused on building your business right now. All right, let's take a look at the next person, which is Aubrey. And so she was in the number 3 spot. And, her reviews are hurting her a little bit on here. I'm going to take a look at her on Facebook. Now, some businesses focus more on Yelp And some businesses focus more on a social media presence. And usually if it's a social media presence, Facebook is the most frequent one that people will focus on, YouTube being the second most frequent. So it could be that that's her focus, and we'll see that when we take a look over there. Others focus mostly on their website, and they have an active blog, and they have a community that they're building there. And that's where, they have search engine traffic coming in directly to their website, and that's where they cultivate the most important presence for them. So I don't know with Aubrey which of those three locations is most important to her, but if Yelp is, then she needs to work on her reviews, because the 3.5 is kind of hurting her. Anything below 4, below a solid 4, it starts hurting you a little. Great, she's got her hours and the days that she's off or consecutive, which makes it a lot easier for people. So that's not about presence, that's about just business decisions. And that's a good one. And I'm going through, okay, so this review is really hurting her. Let's see if she replied. Okay, so she did reply back, so that's good. Here's another one that's hurting her. This one she didn't reply back to. You want to, okay, so just in general, if you claim your Yelp listing, reply to all reviews. Reply to the good reviews, but definitely reply to any bad reviews. You have to say something, because if you leave it like this is not just hurting her in her numbers that she has these 2 1-star reviews, but it's also hurting her that she didn't reply back to this one, which if you don't reply at all, it's like saying, yeah, you're right. Right. So say something. Yeah, she's got a few that are not so awesome for her on here. So I'm glad that she does have an outgoing message, and I would just like to see her do a little bit more work on interacting with those people who gave those other reviews. And, sometimes you can get someone to change their review if you do enough for them. If you make them feel heard and seen enough, sometimes they will actually change their reviews, and that would really help her. Other than that, she needs a campaign to just get lots of her current clients to give her more positive reviews, so that those other ones just get pushed off the page, because there are only so many that are going to show on this first page, and then they get pushed off the page, and people don't tend to click through. If there are enough reviews on this page, no one will see those old reviews. I think, where are they from? Yeah, so this is more than a year ago. So to get rid of this one from more than a year ago would not be really hard if she did just a little bit of a campaign on that. So let's take a look at her website. All right, so her website, I would say it's okay. It's okay. It's still a little bit old-fashioned looking. This blue and blue is always problematic. This particular shade of blue for the background, and then this particular shade of blue going with it for anything other than a link. Like, this is a link color. So your link color should not be your headline colors or your subheading color. Okay. So on your website, you want to, if you have this blue and blue thing and your headlines are the same color as your links, change that. Very easy change. That's really what's dating her website. It seems so simple, but it is actually the main thing that's dating her website. Let's see what else we have here. She has her footer stuff here. That the website was designed by, and then it has that company that designed it, is not a bad thing. It's not like the same thing as saying, website by Weebly, like who the actual technology is. This is the designer. I would still want if I had someone else design my website, I would not let them have a live link to their own website. I don't know if you can see it because it's just about out of view of the video, but down in the left corner, you see that little .com, like vox.com. That's televox.com. That's the web designer linking back to their own site. And you shouldn't tolerate that. She does need to update her copyright. And, the designer should have fixed that, because if you had someone professionally make your site, they should have put a piece of code in there that just automatically makes this the current date every year, and you shouldn't even have to think about this to keep this up to date, because every time people see this, especially with it being a somewhat older looking site because of things in the design, it just gives them a feel this isn't really happening anymore, and everybody wants to go where things are happening now. Okay, because they want better attention. And then about our office, good, lots of sublinks. This is good. Good. So this is a built out site, and that's one of the things that I like to see. She even has a patient login area, which I like that too. Okay, lots of contact information. And let me see about our office, about the doctor. And that's a picture of her, and that's a good picture. It's very friendly. Friendly, and yet at the same time, there's a certain professionalism to it because of the blazer that she's wearing, and the very clean makeup. So yeah, this is good. Yeah, just little changes are needed here, but this is a functional website. It's not really hurting her as well, especially if she makes those couple changes I said. Then this isn't hurting her. It could help more. It could help more. She could definitely benefit from an updated website to look really current, especially since she is trying to appeal to young people and their parents, right? So I would say her typical client is probably around 14, around about like the girl we see right now, right? And that's her mom. So the picture you just saw, those people, they're going to respond to something that's a little more fresh. And so her website could help her more if she could make it more current and more fresh. Okay. But she's got good content. Now let's look at her on Facebook. Okay, so this is good. This is her girl right here. And so, it wouldn't be such a bad thing to have a guy in there. But, they need braces just as much. And it's the parents who are paying for them anyhow. But in any case, like right age range, me, from if you've seen the other reviews, I always like that when I click this, there's something here. And I like that it tells me on the picture itself a little bit about something of what I'll see if I click it to encourage me to click it, because this is like your major advertising on the page. But in any case, not bad. And then I like her logo a lot. I really like it. It has that feeling of the idea of the braces, but in a really fresh way. Colors are really nice. This is her color scheme. It's all nice. I like it. Well done, logo. She has lots of followers. This is a really good number. If you can get into the 600s for a local business, just one or two locations in a local area, that's very, very good. And so she's doing a good job here. 4.9 on her reviews with 7 reviews. Also very good. Let's see what else we see here. I don't always wear my elastics. Like my, it's funny. Good. Pictures of her with her folks. Fairly recent. Good. Yeah, good. So she's doing good things on Facebook. I really like this a lot. I like that she has a bag with her logo on it too, that she's featuring here, and little goodies that go into it. Post-treatment goodies. Yeah, I like this. And you see she's got 5 likes, and I can tell she's not boosting post. She's just getting organic reach to her 600 plus people who really like what they see. They're interacting with her. So I would say she's doing a good job on Facebook. Now, could it do more for her? Absolutely, because if she was boosting posts, especially if she was doing them not just to people who already follow her, but if she was targeting people who are like the people who are already following her, she could be doing even better. Like right now, this is really more maintaining relationships. It's like strengthening existing relationships. That's what she's doing on here right now. But this could be actually a major pipeline for her for new business, because she's strong at it. She's good at putting out the right kind of content. Not everybody is. And she's already built up enough of a following here that she's got something to leverage. And she's got some problems going on Yelp. So it would be really, and her website's, just kind of okay. So this would actually be the best place for her to focus. If I was her consultant, I'd have her running Facebook ads, and I'd have her really doing a campaign of growing her business from here. All right. So sorry about the pop-ups. I'm on Facebook right now. You know how it is. All right. So let's take a look at the next person. Okay. So Kenneth, and he has, more reviews than the last 2 that we looked at. Lots of days that he's open, which is great, which tells me he's probably growing his practice right now, either just for him, or he may have another orthodontist, it's hard to say, who's working with him now. And so he's wanting to fill that practice also. Who knows? But he's definitely putting in good hours, which makes him available to more new people who can make it work in their schedule. Good reviews. There's a 4, but that's not bad. Yeah, good reviews. I don't see anything below a 4. That's very nice. And there are lots of them. And, this one's kind of a long time ago. So I never like to see any, so this one's got just like a 1 star. So there is a 1-star one. But he replied back. So that's great. What does this say? We've gone through files and can't locate this person. The 1-star review, but you don't exist, lady. And that's good. But it's great that they took the time to do that, right? Because it puts it into context. He has a lot of reviews already, but a lot of these are from, quite some years ago. So it would be worthwhile. And see, nice updated review. See, that's what you want. If ever you have a bad review, you want it to become an updated review that's a good review, or at least a neutral 3, if you can get it there. He could definitely stand to ask for some reviews, to like do some kind of a promo, give some kind of an offer to get more reviews, because this is all, fairly old. He's working so many hours, but, his reviews are all over a year old. Like there's nothing that's more recent. So this would be worth him putting a little attention into. Again, there are things that you could do to ask people to give you reviews, to get a flood of them coming in, that aren't like manipulative or like begging or anything. Like you just offer something. You say, look, this is what we're doing right now. We'd love for you to participate. If you've liked your experience here, then would you do this? And just, give an honest review, please. And as a thank you, there's this thing for anyone who leaves a review. Yeah, something like that. There are lots of options, actually. So let's take a look at his website. Okay, so I like the freshness of it. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I like the freshness of it. I like that the color scheme is kind of bright, but not too bright. It's like balancing it with earth tones. They're browns and golds. I have to admit, I'm not a super fan of this. This isn't that easy to read. It's kind of hard on the eyes, but okay, he's trying to do something interesting with the font here. I would do something different, interesting, that's easier to read, to tell you the truth, but not terrible. And the pictures are great. The hero images, the slideshow's good. Then he goes straight, I'm on the homepage, and it's straight into book an appointment, send us a message. It's just like pictures. And then there's that. I'd give a little context before asking people for anything, honestly. Just some kind of explanation of what makes this particular practice different than the other practices, and what's the message to the person looking at this? Why do we want to serve you? Something. It could be just like a simple paragraph, a few sentences, but then ask them to take action. Don't just show them a picture and ask them to take action. And some key links here. Okay. Yeah, things are a little bit in the wrong order here, but otherwise good. I would actually put these things up higher, actually. Yeah, things are really in the wrong order. That's what's wrong with this page. The right things are here, but they're in the wrong order. Don't say our locations if there's only one location. Just give your contact information because this draws attention to the fact that there's only one location by doing this. So just don't do it at all and just give your location under contact. And website powered by, and then a link to them. No websites powered by. We don't want free marketing for the technology making your site. And that is the technology. When it says powered by, it's not the same thing as designed by. So this would be more like websites by Weebly kind of thing, which you never want to see. Let's see what else is going on. So let me go over to, there's so much contact us information here. And then there's another contact us page. I'm like, well, why is there all that contact stuff on the homepage if there's a full page for contact us? Not just a page, but like a drop-down menu. So there is opportunity for improvement here. It's not a bad site, and it's fresh looking. So I'd give it a solid B. Yeah, but you always want anything in your online presence to be a solid A. So there's definitely a good idea to make some changes, even if he doesn't change anything about the theme, like the basic look feel. There's just some details on the content where he could improve things a lot. And here he is on Facebook. And okay, so when I see only 40 or so people who like something, it tells me, well, he has claimed it. He's made it. He's got his sign. This is obviously the sign on the business. Here it's easier to read because here that same gold with the shadow is on this color background, which is so much easier to read than when it's on the white background. Do you see that? So it's like he's taken that same thing from the sign, but in this context, it just doesn't work quite the same. So he really needs to make some edits to it. Like where it's gold, it probably needs to be a darker color so that it's more of a contrast with the white background here. Whereas here, it's the light on this is actually a darker background. It's not that dark, but it is darker. And so it's light on dark as opposed to light on light, the way it is on the website. And then here's obviously the storefront, but it's not a store, but this is the front of the business and the great big smile there. That's cute. Yeah, so he started doing something with this. These are obviously pictures of his patients and I'm guessing this is a picture of him. And they did a contest, clearly. So he's doing things. This is from 2 years ago, though. Most recent post is from a couple of years ago. Okay, so at some point, he was doing something with this, and then he stopped. That's what's going on here. And, there's potential here. I believe he's one that's open 7 days a week. So that suggests he is wanting to grow his practice right now. So this is an opportunity that's just being neglected. And, he was doing a good job with the kind of content that he was sharing. It's things that are appealing to people. So I think there is actually a lot of potential for him here. So I hope I've shared things with you that you can apply in your business, whether you're in this particular industry or some other industry. These are things that you want to be thinking about no matter what industry you're in terms of having an online presence that's attractive to the right people, that cultivates a relationship with them, and that keeps them working with you and referring people to you for a long time to come. I will see you in the next review.